Hello everyone, how are we? How are we all doing? I see we've got a few people in the chitty chat already. We've got the lovely Theosaurus and Jan with all of our pink other hats. And we've also got, who have we got? We've got Sandy. Sandy, just the person. I need to ask you a question. Just let me say hello to everyone else. Hi Miri, how you doing? And hello to Elise as well. Nice to see you. Sandy, you were one of the Christmas giveaway winners, were you not? If you were, I think I've got the right Sandy. If you were, do you want me to send your giveaway goodies to your last shop order address? If that's the case, I can just get it out in the post to you. If you could let me know, please, that would be great. Oh, hi, Lisa. I'm just getting the old hand going here. I'm extremely cold today. I'm just like, oh, I've had one of those days where I've not been able to get heated at all in any way, shape or form. And the cave's not particularly cold either. The house isn't particularly cold. It's just like my internal boiler is clearly not working. So yeah, that's where we're at today. So we're just going to try and keep warm, but get the fingers working the way that they're supposed to work. And yeah, that's about the size of things. I'm really distracted by two certain people in the chat who shall remain nameless, who are talking about Animal Crossing. We are getting an update. So we're supposed to get it tomorrow, but it's available for download just now. And yeah. There's chat going on about it, so I've put everything's on silent. Pay attention, Jem. Come on now. Yeah, as most of you will know, I've got a bit of an Animal Crossing problem, for want of a better phrase. So beverages for today, I have with me the remnants of this is Vimto. So for those of you out with the UK, which at this point I think is just Elise and Thea. This is like a syrup that you dilute with water, and it's supposed to be like a kind of mixed fruits things. You do get a fizzy version that comes in a can that you don't put water in, but this is obviously not that. This is the still version. Sugar, no added sugar. So I'm on that. And I also have with me a can of the Pepsi of the Max. I am doing dry January. So no alcohol for the month of January, so nearly halfway. But I figured that I don't drink fizzy drinks normally unless they've got Jack Daniels in them. But seeing it's Wednesday's kind of like my treat day, I thought I would just have that on its own in lieu of a Pepsi Max with Jack Daniels in it. So that is what I shall be consuming for the duration of the stream. Jan has a hotel. Right, Jan, shush. I'll need to catch up with you later. A cow can type again, an armful of kitten. Oh, that's the best kind of armful to have, is it not? Yeah, you can add sparkly water to the syrup, then you have the fizzy version. It's not the same. And the fizzy stuff's actually okay, like it's not bad, but I just, because I don't drink a lot of fizzy juice, I actually prefer the still version. And you can also make it like stronger or weaker to your preference. I am definitely on the stronger side of Vimto drinking. Weirdly, with other diluted, we call it diluting juice. It's very regional depending on where you are in the UK as to what you call it. Some people call it squash, some people, and that's any syrup that you dilute with water. But we call it diluting juice, and there's some brands that I prefer waterier, you know, much more diluted. But Vimto, I like it quite strong. Right up until he turns around and floof ninjas you. Floof ninjas you. Cal, is there a demo? A demo for what? For Animal Crossing? Mary doesn't often drink fizzy drinks. Oh, bottle green. Oh, bottle green. Ooh, posh. Cal says squash or cordial. Okay. Yeah, the old regional. There's always a lot of debate about this. It's different in different places in Scotland as well, not just between Scotland and England. But yeah, we diluting juice. That's me originally from the West Coast. I don't wonder if they use diluting juice over here actually. Bearing in mind I'm like on the east, I'm on the opposite side now. I must find that out from somebody local. I don't know what the answer to that is. That's funny. Right, my hand feels pretty good. Right, okay. I wanted to kind of like hold off a bit. I think my scheduling and what we're doing in the stream's probably the wrong way round. One of the things I want to do with you guys today is to decide on what the next colouring series will be in terms of videos, and I feel like we should maybe have more people in the stream before we do that, which tends to be a bit later on. However, if I'm going to get into scrapbooking, which was my plan, I don't really want to have to like stop and shove a load of stuff out the way to do that. So I don't know whether just to leave it to fate or to get on with it. I'm not entirely sure. I was hoping for a reply from Sandy if I missed her. Maybe she's got me on in the background and she's not paying attention. I don't know. Yeah, Cal, there's no demo. It's not a game that you would have a demo for. You just have to buy it. Could always do a poll on the channel. I could, but I don't want to. Can you have a poll up that lasts an hour? Well, yeah, I suppose I could have it running in the background, but part of it was actually going through the colouring books and, you know, like showing some pictures and things. You remind people to vote. Yeah, okay. Why not? It's my stream. I'll do what I want with it. That's fun and games. It's all good. It's not. Hi, Martine. How you doing? It's not. Well, I don't know if there is such a thing as a predictable set of colouring books that I might choose. I would say it's a selection of things that I wouldn't normally go for. One of the things, just starting the new year, one of the things I did do was kind of rearrange a set of shelves, and it's the set that you can't see, so they're on the same wall as the camera, but they're just over a bit, and that's where all my colouring books are. And I stopped buying colouring books quite some time ago, with the exception of an odd one here or there. And I have, you know, a substantial number of books, and I don't like things to sit and gather dust and not be used. And I'm kind of feeling that way about these colouring books, so I've dug out some old relics to choose from. And while it's very nice to be current and, you know, keeping up with the trends, especially for YouTube and all social media, that's not the way that I work, and I'm not keeping things that I don't use, so that's kind of part of it as well. Hey Mona, how you doing? Melpomene, I don't know if I've pronounced that right. Circle of Life will have a new one out soon. Again, not in the market for stuff like that at all. I have two. Literally, I have only finished one of my colouring books, and that was Enchanted Forest. And even at that, I finished that years ago. So there's no need for any of that. Drawman Vanguard, yeah, that's a book that I do have. It's not in the selection that I've picked out, but I kind of like that. Maybe for later on in the year, Cal, we might do that. I'm good as well, thank you Mona, thanks for asking. Pretty good, happy to be here this afternoon. I always do enjoy my Wednesday afternoons. They're pretty chilled out. I have many, I'm okay with that, yeah. Well, again, it's just personal preference, and, you know, the such, like, I don't like to have a lot of stuff kicking about that's not getting used. That's just the person that I am. Miri cancelled her Colouring Heaven sub because it wasn't liking too many of the issues. Buy the ones you love. Yeah. It's rare for me to grab one that isn't a Johanna. Jan says, I've got colouring books because of you guys. They've barely finished one page. I'm pathetic. Yeah, Elise, that's a good point. I forgot about you as well. I did post up on the posts tab on YouTube. Could you drop me an email, please, Elise, with the postal address that you would like your giveaway sent to? Thank you very much. Europa the Pirate Twin, hello! Nice to see everyone. This is I've got quite a busy wee stream. Right, okay, that's fine. We're just talking about our vast collections of colouring books. If you're interested, it's officially 3 o'clock. I'm just going to go for it. When I put the poll up, I will leave it up well into the second half of the stream. And Thea, you can remind people if that's what you want to do. Okay, so bearing in mind that when we've done these colouring sessions in the past, they quite often span over many videos, so have a think about the duration of the series would be my first thing for you to consider in your choice when you vote, because I'm hoping that all of you, well, there's 16 of you here, hopefully you'll all vote. So let's get started. I do want to have a flick through these books though, because there'll be people that haven't seen some of them, and there'll be people that know them very well indeed. So the first book that I have, and this will probably, well, hopefully all of them will come as a surprise. Hopefully. I need to get the right, there we go. The first one is Small Victories, and the reason I've picked this is It's one of those books that I've barely had a glance at, and I'm going to show you what I've actually done in this first of all, and the answer is practically nothing. And I kind of like this because the type of content and the purpose of this book was meant to be done in sort of bite-sized chunks, and I think that we could make some quite nice slightly shorter videos. They would still be long form videos obviously, but it's really easy to break this down into sections purely from a selfish point of view for filming. But the only work that I have done in this was this first page that we did, which was the little spaceship and space rocket page, which turned out very nicely, to be fair. Out some mediums for whiting out the line work. So this was literally a test page, and you can see there I've had a go with some coloured pencil over the top of each thing and each medium that I used to do that. Other than that, I have coloured nothing in this book. Nothing. Not a sausage. Oh, I tell a lie. I started here with the trucks, and you can see that literally that's it. So just to show you some of the pages inside this, I noticed with this one as well, again it's a slightly different format for Johanna, as you're probably aware. There's no nameplate page in this book, so there's that. I don't know why I've got this list of coloured pencils, and these are Prismacolor pencils. They're all Prismacolor pencils. No idea what that's for. Again, probably picked colours out and then just didn't do anything. So the types of images that we've got here, it's very typical of Johanna's colouring book style, but we do have a selection of mandala type patterns like this, and a lot of the pages have these individual little sort of miniature designs. And I would probably say if we were to do a page like this, we would possibly do 2 per video, and you could do them, you know, whichever way around you want, or pick them at random. And we could have maybe like a limited palette, so you could just use like blue and orange for this one, for example, or, you know, something similar like that. That was kind of thinking with that. Mary's got it, hasn't done anything in it either. So that's always something. Elise is asking, do you have one of the Pictura colouring books? No, I don't, Elise. I don't own any of them. Panorama colour book? No, I don't. Thea's struggling with this book as well. Also with the newest one, not really your cup of tea. Interesting. So this might be a good idea to get some of us going if people aren't really feeling the love. Yeah, so that's very similar, and there's always butterflies if Johanna's involved as well. So, but again, you've always got this nice variety. So like, for example, here we've got some buildings, and then we've always got a sort of whimsical effort like this as well. Because my other thought as well is if we were going to get through it quite quickly, we could do 2 pages side by side as well, you know, so it would be a double page would be the colouring series, as it were. Hi, Susan. We've got little dinosaurs here, and they've got foliage on them. I mean, come on. And it's such a cute colouring book. I have to admit, I'm not really into these pattern type ones. This isn't my kind of colouring generally. I just find it, I don't like repetitive things. But because these are in a much smaller format, I would be much happier colouring one of these. So yeah, that's right. Just a question for Miri and Thea. Johanna's newest book, what's it called? I really haven't been following along at all. Thea says it might grow on me. Oh, Mona doesn't like the mandalas either. Wonderful Wildflowers. Oh, okay. Okay, I kind of like the fish as well. I'm into the fish. See, I really like this page as well. Like, see with the weenie things, because, you know, I kind of like stuff like that. I would be really into something like that. But I think probably a double page would suit us. There's little islands as well. I love these. Love these. Yeah, I haven't seen Johanna's Wildflowers one at all. Again, yeah, I've got lots of books with flowers in, so I don't feel the need to, you know, sort of jump into that. But there you go. This is very traditional Johanna, this one. And there's another sort of mandala one. This reminds me very much of Enchanted Forest. This is like screaming Enchanted Forest, just with the leaves and the acorns. Like that kind of encompasses that book. Mona loves to colour flowers. We've got some sweet treats here and some flowers growing out of pencils, which I kind of like as well. So you can see the type of thing that we're going for. I think some of these slightly different pages, like I think that this one in particular, I think this would be a lovely one to colour, you know, to do the 2 pages, because there's lots of variety, you know, within each of the little images, and they're kind of fun. But in bonsai castle trees, like what more could you want out of life, seriously? There was a page with jars as well. Johanna also always has a heart design in her colouring books as well. I don't know if all of you know that or not. But there it is there. Something a bit more substantial. Like this doesn't fill me with joy. Like this is about the furthest thing from what I would want to colour, I think. Oh yeah, the one with the jars. Love the one with the jars as well. More fish. We've got kettles and sweet treats as well. So lots to choose from, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this, because it is kind of like an abandoned colouring book for me, and I feel like it deserves some love, because there are lots of images that I would colour, like, oh, come on. Hey Ulrika, how's it going? It's another one as well. I did a page very similar to this, again, feathers. I can't remember what book it was in. And it was definitely one of Johanna's books. I think it was probably an Enchanted Forest as well. I'm sure there was a page of feathers in that. But they're always good fun as well. So that is choice number 1. We've got these little framed ones as well here. In a double page like that, doing that, you know, that's quite a lot of work between those 2 pages. But again, it would be easy to break down for making videos. So cute. And then we've got, these are really good as well. I like these because we can put things in the middle, like we can add our own stuff. That's always fun as well. And again, that just adds a different slant to your colouring as well. If you want to be a bit braver, we can put something in the middle, get your creativity going. This page here, this might sound a bit odd. I always felt like, see, even the first time I saw this, I felt like it's a page of like potential tattoos. I don't know what made me feel that way, but I just thought, you know, if you took one of those individually, they'd make quite a pretty wee tattoo if you're into that sort of thing. So I've got a couple of dragons here as well. And again, things in jars. We always like things in jars. So that's option number 1. And I think just from what's been said in the comments here, if you want to give your abandoned colouring book some love, this might just be quite a nice option for us, I think, anyway. So that's choice number 1. Choice number 2 is Rita Berman, My Journey Through Asia. And the reason that I have picked this book as one of the options is I have coloured nothing in this. This is a fresh colouring book for me. I really enjoyed the last one that I did in our other book, which I've had for quite a while now, and that was a video on the channel. But this is such a pretty book, and it's a little bit different. And there's lots of content in here which would be things that I typically wouldn't colour or don't colour regularly. So that's kind of my thinking for that. There's lots of scenes and there's lots going on in these pictures as well. So that's, again, I wanted something, I didn't want to pick out 4 books that were really similar to each other. Like, I want to give you the choice of something that's a bit further out there. So the art style itself is lovely and it's busy, so there's lots of things to colour, and it adds more interest when you're filming a video. If you've got lots of different aspects that are smaller to work on, it provides more interest for you guys as viewers, as well as for me keeping my boredom threshold and my concentration span where they should be. So that's the reasoning for it as well. But again, there's a nice mixture of the subject matter I'm telling absolute lies. Okay, I've coloured one page in this. That's how much I don't look at these books. Like, I can't remember what I've coloured and what I've not coloured. So, yes, anyway. This just proves my point exactly about these books. It really, really does. But there's so much in here. Like, I love this little, like, inside the train scene, because you've got the scenery out the window, the mandatory pussycat, and all this stuff to colour. And you can make these, like, super bright, use all the pencils as well, which, you know, like, everyone likes to use all the pencils sometime. Yeah. So lots of different things here. This one with the boats and the volcano, this kind of intrigues me, because this is something that I wouldn't normally go for. I get slight Kirby vibes from these waves, you know, just with the swirls in them, but apart from that, it's pretty, you know, it's pretty different. There's an aeroplane in there, so that might just be a nice choice as well. On the other hand, though, there's part of me, like, you know, if you're going to colour something like that, this is a lot of work, this page. Like, a lot of work. We've got some lovely lanterns as well. I love the fact that we've got lanterns, because you know what lanterns mean? Lanterns mean light sources. We like a good light source here at the cave. So, and I'm really into this. Obviously, I'm into this because I didn't buy the book because the light pole was inside of it. And I just feel that it's something slightly departed from what I would normally go for, and that was kind of the appeal of it at the time. And I still feel that there's still plenty of familiar territory, though. Things like Sweet Treats, that kind of pops up in a lot of colouring books. Well, we've even got some horses there, and look, the horse bums are perfect. And we've got one here that's a little bit more. There's some lovely flowers and things here. Wee butterfly again. It's a recurring theme. So we've got lots of that as well. So, like, look at this one. You've got your lantern right in the middle. Can you imagine doing that and then sticking to your light source rule and working around all these flowers? You could get like a really impactful, like, atmospheric page with that. Super, super nice. We've got things with patterns on here as well. And again, we've got one here that's got smaller squares. So again, this would be a great page to do, because you could do a couple at a time and, you know, and complete them. So you would be completing images within the entire page. Hi Maxie, how you doing? I'm more into these sort of scenery type ones though. I kind of like that a lot. That appeals to like my sort of colouring preferences. We've got some bikini bottoms, because why not? I was going to show my age there. There's a song about this. You know. If you know, you know. So yep, lots of choice as well. I'm not so sure about the pineapple compass here. I thought this was a bit random. So it's obviously meant to be like a beach themed picture. So we've got pineapples, and we've got some fish, and flip flops, and possibly some drinks. I don't know what a die has to do with anything, and I'm not really sure why there's a compass involved there either. If anyone would like to enlighten me, please feel free. Cal says Timmy Mallet. There you go. I knew somebody would know. Hi Terry, how you doing? Nice to see you. How's your morning coffee? The hermit crab as well. I know he's super cute. Oh. And we've got some bamboo here as well. An octopus with a human face and a hat. Again, because why not? I'm quite in love with the elephant as well, I have to say. I think this page would be fun too. So there's lots of things that sort of jump out at me, like, oh, I would like to colour that. Oh, I would like to colour that. That's the sign of a good colouring book, and you know you've made a good choice for yourself if that happens. It's when you're flicking through, you know, like that way, sometimes when something doesn't meet your expectations, Thea with the latest Johanna book, and you're flicking through and you're like, yeah, nothing worse than when that happens. Julia Sparkles. Always room for Julia Sparkles, Cal. Another heart. So yeah, that is choice number 2. And, you know, different from the first choice. So, reasons for that as well. And choice number 3, I think you're going to be very surprised with this one. Now, there's a thing about this book. The Disney Dreams collection, original art by Thomas Kincaid, and this is obviously the colouring book. I absolutely lost my mind with this and swore down I was never going to colour in it again. Mary, that's a surprise given the last time. Yeah, I said categorically I'm never colouring in this book again. I have gathered myself together. It's taken years, but I've gathered myself together. And the reason was they provide you the reference image, and most of these were painted with oils. I love Thomas Kincaid's art style. Like, I just absolutely love it. Trying to recreate it with pencil is so difficult. I feel like you can see, well, that was the first one that I did. I just went through, and I feel like with this page I did a much better job of it, and I was much happier with it, but I felt that it was quite washed out and the paper wouldn't take as much pencil as I wanted it to, like especially up here. If you look at this corner compared to here, I couldn't get enough layers down. So that was kind of the part of the frustration. But also the other problem with these, and I'll show you here, this is the Little Mermaid 2, not even the first one. The line work isn't always accurate to the original painting. Some of it is quite lax, shall we say, and there's a lot of areas where you have to kind of figure stuff out, and it tends to be like in these foliage or background areas. So there's that. Thea's mentioning a pastel ground. I would use as I showed you in the Johanna Basford book. Just flick back to this very quickly. I would probably use the core watercolour ground, because I would be wanting to cover up most of the line work anyway, but also that gives you a bit more of a textured surface as well. If I was going to do anything in this book, this is the first step that would be happening, because it gives you pretty good coverage, but you can still see the line work underneath, you know, to work on it. So if I was going to colour anything in this book, that's what I'd do. I've still got all these little markers in here of pages that I wanted to colour, and I'm surprised that I didn't throw them all out the window. Pinocchio, my top 3 Disney films, just for reference. I'm not a huge, like, massive Disney fan, but my 3 favourite Disney films, in no particular order, are Sword in the Stone, Pinocchio, and Alice in Wonderland. So I've obviously picked this one because it's Pinocchio. Jiminy Cricket's like my favourite. So I liked this one because there's mountains in the background, basically. It's like a reason for choosing it. Obviously we've got wee Pinocchio here, so I can see why I chose that one. I can't actually remember choosing these now, because I mean this was years and years ago. Winnie the Pooh, okay, like who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh? I mean, come on, like Pooh Bear. I'm a bit disappointed that Tigger isn't in there, to be honest. We've got Owl. So again, I think if I was going to colour in this one, I would pick one of the images that I've earmarked. Jungle Book. Again, like, see trying to traverse all this with pencil, then this is going to be an absolute nightmare. Like, Eureka loves Sword in the Stone. You watched it this morning at 1 a.m. That's amazing. That is one of the Disney films that I regularly rewatch. I just love it. Again, Archimedes. I just love grumpy fat animals, so... And I know Archimedes isn't fat, but he's floofy. That counts. I have to say I was quite impressed with Tangled. I only watched that when I say recently, like within the last couple of years, and I was moderately entertained by that. Jungle Book's Terry's favourite. He's very fluffy, yes he is. Well, he makes himself fluffy as well when he's annoyed, which I kind of like. Lady and the Tramp as well. I actually quite like this image. I love all like the water reflections and everything. This is one of these books as well, like you can never colour in it and just enjoy flicking through it. Really good for that. Oh, Bambi. I don't know why I earmarked this one. Again, I do think though my colouring preferences have changed over the years. I mean, I've had this book for years and there's every chance that things that I would have wanted to colour before I definitely don't want to colour now and vice versa. Oh, there we go. Alice in Wonderland, unsurprisingly. So we've got the March Hare, and we've got the Mad Hatter, the White Rabbit, and we've got the singing pansies down the bottom. That is actually one of my favourite scenes in Alice in Wonderland as well, when she's made really, really small and she gets flung in amongst all the flowers and they're all singing and everything. We reference that a lot. When I say we, well, it was Mum and I used to reference a lot. When someone's talking a lot, someone would turn around and say, "Quiet, bud." Which, again, if you've seen the film, you'll know the reference. I've got another Winnie the Pooh here. We've got Tigger this time. There he is. But again, like, look how beautiful the backgrounds are in this. Like, this just makes me so happy. Like, I could just go and stand in there and be a happy little bean. I really, really could. Another Snow White one. Again, this is because of the cottage and the trees, and I know fine well that's why I picked that one. A more Winnie the Pooh. Again, I know why I chose this one as well, and it's because of that tree. Like, I literally picked these because of the tree. Oh. Elise prefers Pixar. I like some of the Pixar films as well. I seem to have marked every page. No, I haven't. Promise you I haven't. Again, more Alice in Wonderland. Another favourite scene, which is just after the flowers with the caterpillar, because he's clearly on something. To be fair, I think all of the characters in that film are on something. And the last one I've got earmarked here is Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Look at these roses. I think with this one, I would want to try and recreate that as much as possible, but the line work for these roses is so heavy, and I don't know how much covering up we can do that would make it look right. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense or not. But yeah, there's like, even like, oh, look at the cottage. Like, why would you not want to, like, I would want, that's not one that I've marked, but that's one that I would colour as well, just because it's the cottage. So yeah, this comes with its own challenges, but I feel now that being so far along from the last time I coloured in here, I think that I would do a much better job this time. Thumbelina is one of my favourites. Oh, Mary. Thea says, I vote for gouache in that book. Do you know something? Gouache would probably be a really good idea. The paper's smooth. I've got teeny tiny paintbrushes, and I would be able to get similar effects and also have the opacity to cover up the line work. That is a really, really, really good idea, Thea. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. It's such a pretty book though, and again, that's one of the reasons I picked it. Is it deserves love, but I was so done after last time. Like, honestly, I was so done. I think gouache might be the way forward, and I feel I might be able to do a reasonably good job, especially because you've got a reference image like right beside you. The only thing that we wouldn't be able to counteract is, in quite a lot of the pictures, this is a really good example actually, the texture of the canvas really, really shows through. We wouldn't have that option, but definitely for blending and just colour in general, we'd be able to make a pretty good job of that. So I like your thinking, Thea. So that is book number 3. The last choice, I'm sure most of you are going to love this for a choice, because I know I do. The last choice is Colin Thompson's colouring book. I actually have to zoom out to fit this in because it's a bigger book. Started that one colouring book page with gouache, the Moni book, yep, and it worked just fine. So, Colin Thompson's colouring book. I freaking love this book. Again, this is another book that I could quite happily never colour in and just flick through it every now and then. I love it. The designs are just... they're like... It's like... I don't know how to describe it. It's like The Far Side and Monty Python had a love child, and that's just why I love it. Like, it's so good. And this is like, I'm so happy with this page. It took forever, but I absolutely love it. And every time I open this book, I'm like, oh yeah. So we did the doors, did some of these with Inktense pencils as well. The pages, I mean, those two in terms of style are very similar because it's the same thing repeated, you know, just in with different designs. Some of the other pages are a bit more off the wall, literally. You've got mental staircases. I really like these ones as well with like the turrets and things in them, but there's so many just really cool pages. Come on. It's so nice. And this one in particular, because it's obviously has gone for a completely different art style here, but this is just fantastic. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. I do like these ones with the ducats though, you know, that I've got a finished image in each one, because it makes it easy to work through. I like the fact that we've got a bottom here as well. A bottom. And don't ask me what's going on here. I'm not really entirely sure, but I think that's kind of the point. I don't think you're supposed to know what's going on, but that's half the fun, isn't it? And I have to say this, the paper in this book is quite thick. It's smooth, but it's thick, and it will take a bit of water as well, so you're not limited to pencil. I have no words for this page. All I know is that I like it, but I'm not sure what you would do colours wise with that. But it's an interesting design choice, nonetheless. We've got some more buildings here with lots of things going on. Flowers. Oh, Thea's checking things out for people. Is this for a copy of this book? I kind of like this page as well. Look, all the little tree houses. There's so much detail in these pages. So if we chose something in here, it would be, well, 9 times out of 10, depending on the image that we pick, which we'd have to do anyway. This would be a much longer series, obviously, just due to the level of detail in each of the images. Like something like that. This is going to take a while. It's going to take a while. But again, it might be nice to get our teeth into something that's a lot bigger, you know, like something meaty to get us started for the year. So that, you know, that's something, because I'm kind of like, I don't have a feeling that's sending me in a certain direction yet, and that's why I thought, like, let's open this up, let the cave community speak and see what we think. But this is I like this as well, because there's a definite mixture here. It's just, yeah, it's eclectic. Have you ever looked at MC Escher's work? Yes, I have. Oh, more bonsai tree houses. Well, it's actually not a bonsai tree house because it's in a bathtub, which again I would fully expect from Colin Thompson. More trees. There is a nice tree theme that runs through this book as well, and again, that's probably, you know, what makes me happy. There's also a box of floppy disks here, which I just can't get over, but that kind of makes me happy too. But yeah, like, maybe not something like this page for a video. let's just get a zoom in on that. Like that, there's a lot going on in there. It might not be the best choice for a video series on colouring. So anyway, you get the gist of that as well. But this book really is a book on its own. I have not found any other colouring book that comes close to this in terms of similarity, the quality of the paper, and the general sort of off the wallness. This is very similar to the first page that we did. I wouldn't want to do this one either. Those are 5-inch floppies. Us really old folk recall the 7-inch ones. The 7-inch ones were kind of going out of fashion. By the time I was using computers. We did have one computer, I think, with a 7-inch floppy drive, but it was the 5-inch ones that dominated my childhood and my teenage years. I really like this one as well. Again, just because it's a bit more landscapey, like it kind of makes a bit more sense, sort of. But I really, really like this page. They were really floppy anywhere. Some doors, a jumble of houses and things. Here we go. This one makes a little bit more sense as well, sort of, kind of, but not really. I really like this one as well with the musical instruments. There's so much to look at in all of these. Like, you literally could sit for a good half hour with a cup of tea and just go through this and make the most of it. So, there we go. Those are your choices for our next colouring series. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a poll up, and I'll leave it running into maybe about halfway through the second half of the stream, and we can have a wee discussion at the end about which page we want to tackle in whichever book is chosen. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So let's just have a wee poll. Can't spell. It's going well. And off we go. Don't forget to like the stream. Thanks for the reminder, Ulrika. Oh, I've seen quite a few of those videos, Elise. Yeah, so basically people around my age that have children who are perhaps early teenagers, I think is the most common sort of age group, and the parents just give them objects randomly that are obsolete now. And the one that sticks out for me that I watched, and it was ages ago, and it was 3 teenage boys, so it was 2 brothers and a friend, and they were around maybe between sort of 14 and 17, and the parents handed them a rotary phone, and it was plugged in like to the old phone socket, and they gave them a telephone number, and they're like, we want you to ring this number, and they just sat there and didn't give them any help at all. And everyone else that was in the room was in absolute stitches watching these 3 kids trying to figure out how to use this phone, and the video was like 10 minutes long. And they ended up having to be shown by the parents how to use it. It was really, really, really funny. Oh, Cal accidentally clicked Disney. Oh dear. Oh, Small Victories is running away here. Do you know what? You lot are surprising. I should know better than not to predict things though, shouldn't I? I should really know that by now. We've been doing this long enough. 29% for small victories. Wow. Okay. Come on, journey through Asia. I think someone's got a favourite. Okay, so I don't know whether you agree or disagree that that was a slightly unexpected set of choices. Hi, Sandy. Yes, you're here. Good. Did you hear me asking the question earlier that I asked? That's directed at Sandy, everyone. Okay, I was going to click on Asia as well. Well, to be fair, to be fair, I don't know if it would make much of a difference at this point. But yes, okay. Maybe as a start for the year, is that the thought that was fun. That was fun. Okay, so for the next part of the stream, I'll just, there we go, zoom it out to there. I got some bits and bobs out. Mary says, I'm just clicking for the one I own in the vague intent of joining in. At least you're honest with yourself. Thea would still want to see gouache in the Disney book though. Well, do you know what? I'll tell you what, I'll make you a promise. At some point this year, I will gouache in the Disney book just for you, Thea. Okay? I think it's a great idea and I am absolutely willing to try, especially again since the last time I did anything in that book, my painting skills have improved tenfold, so we'll maybe put that to the test at some point. We'll squeeze it in somewhere. Right, okay, so anywho, I was sorting some stuff out and making up some of the scrappy packs for the stash shop yesterday, and I just kind of like came across some stuff that I really liked and was kind of like, I kind of want to make a scrapbook page out of this stuff. It's not particularly cohesive, I don't think. It was just things that I liked, but they are all sort of turquoisey, greeny colours. So I would like to take this stuff and make it into a scrapbook page. I don't think there's even a theme. We do have it was this in particular caught my eye, and I don't know what it's from. I've obviously cut that out of something somewhere. But these stickers as well, it was, see this little potion bottle type thing here, or perfume bottle. I think it's supposed to be a potion bottle. That really struck me for some reason. Yes, Sandy, you were one of the Christmas giveaway winners, were you not? Yeah, so I kind of pulled together some other things just while I was making up the scrappy packs, and I've come out with all this stuff. I'm really into jars just now, and I thought that would be quite nice if we did something, we could stick it in a jar. These are old paint chips from when I was picking colours for my old kitchen, so the last cave, and these were two that didn't make the cut. I did actually go like true teal, so exactly halfway between blue and green, but these were quite similar. They were just slightly darker versions with slightly less blue in them. They were more green than blue, but yeah, I really like that kind of colour, so I just found a few other bits and bats that might fit in and just picked out some stuff basically. So I would like to try and coordinate things. I found this as well, another kind of like potion bottle, because to begin with I was kind of like, am I going down like an apothecary route here? Is that where we're going with this? The answer is I don't know. But I thought that this page in this book as well, let me get all these other little bitty bits out of the way. These are really cute as well, these little paper flowers, I just love them. A random ivy, one leaf, just one. This page in this book I felt kind of fitted in as well. So this is one of the Peter Popper Press books And they do them in all different subjects, and they're really good value. These are, I think in the UK they're £10. You can get them on Amazon, but there are, oh, there's a wee birdie as well. There are so many stickers in here, so many, and they're all really interesting and different. You know, it's not like repetitive versions, they're all very different, and the sticker quality themselves are really good as well. So I'm a big advocate for these books. I've got one that's like cottagecore, and I've got a Christmas one as well. So I picked this one out, but again I knew there was like basically green bottles in it. And I thought, well, oh, okay. And then there's some purple, and I was like, oh, okay. So that's what I've got to work with. I've also got one of Julia's little iron-on patches, or Lucky Clover. She I think she was selling these in the shop at one point. And I would kind of like stick that in somewhere as well. I've got some bubbles, because why not? Again, I was thinking if for potions and whatnot, this one's got bubbles in it. And I've got some nice sort of background stroke textured stuff here. These come in wee packs. This came in like a massive box of stuff. I hadn't actually I hadn't ordered these. It was something else I was ordering, and I got these with them, and I've got them in a couple of different colours. But there's so much in these little packs. I think you can actually buy these online though, you know, as like a multi-pack. So there's like holy stuff and bobbly stuff. You can see that it's got like green vines through it, which I really like. We've got square stuff. It looks like a bit like fishing net. And this in particular makes me laugh. Mama and Papa Jem Papa Jem still has a business making window blinds and, you know, like shades. And this reminds me of a really old fabric that they used to sell like back in the 80s. And it was called Shetland Snowflake. I don't think I'll ever forget that as long as I live. It was a much tighter weave than that, but see the texture of it, it feels exactly the same. It's like brings back like weird childhood memories. We've got a weird kind of pixely thing here as well. But there's actual paper in these as well as the kind of fabric stuff. So if you wanted to start with a background of a different colour, there's quite a few bits and bobs in here. I say unfortunately I don't know where you can, but I'm sure I've seen them like just in passing. I'm pretty sure you can buy these, and you get like all the colours, like the different colours in one pack. So you get like a green one, a blue one, a purple one, whatever. We've got a nice lacy pattern there as well. I don't know what's going on with these two. Well, these ones are a bit paler. So lots and lots of options here. This is the thing for me with scrapbooking. I see lots of people online that have like beautiful, like really cohesive pages, and everything kind of makes sense, and it's to scale, and they're almost like making a picture out of it. I would say that's more like collage, even though it's not strictly collage. But I see that, and then I see people that just pick up what I call traditional scraps. So they keep all their bits and pieces like this. You know, they're offcuts, and that's all that they use. I'm definitely somewhere, like I'm just in the sea in the middle, basically. I like to kind of use a bit of everything. I don't always feel a compulsion for it to be completely cohesive, but I find that I do tend to lean towards colour rather than subject matter in terms of cohesiveness. So I just basically want to try and make all this stuff make sense on a scrapbook page. So that is where we're going to start. So I've got my wee scrapbook here. I'm just going to pop this out of the way. I don't know if any of you do actually scrapbook. It's not something... It's something I used to do a lot, but I would say it was more junk journaling. And I've only really gotten back into this in the last maybe year or so. But I'm sure you've seen some of these pages that I've done, and I like to add like little embellishments and things. That kind of stuff makes me happy, and see pockets that you can put things in, that also makes me happy. I don't know why, right? It's just the way I am. My favourite page last year by far was the monsters with the googly eyes, because the reason that I felt so good about this was I found the googly eyes in a box and forgotten that I'd bought them for some random project, and I was like, I'm gonna use them. this little guy in particular, his eyes are really googly, and it just makes me really, really happy. Like, oh dear. Thea says, I've tried once, was very annoyed with myself because the page looks stupid. Oh, yeah, this was, I had the googly eyes, and then when I was in, there is actually, in my nearest town, which is not a particularly big town, there is actually a scrapbooking shop, but that thing exists in Scotland, and I nearly lost my mind because I'd lived here like a year and a half before I even knew it existed. And when I was in there, thankfully, I've only been in once, and the day that I went in, the owner was away to like a scrapbooking convention type thing, like almost like a craft fair. So like 90% of the stock that was in the shop had gone with the owner to this convention. So the shelves were quite bare and there was only a few bits and pieces. And all I can say is I'm really, really glad of that, because I would have 100% bankrupted myself that day. Anyway, when I was in, I came across these embellishments, these little pipes, and they're made of like MDF, they're not paper. And for some reason, I put googly-eyed monsters and pipes together. I don't know how, why, but I was like, that is definitely a scrapbook page. It's got to be. So that's how this came to fruition. And there's a bit of stenciling in there. There's these MDF pieces. There's found items like the googly eyes. Like it just all came together beautifully for me. Oh, Rika dropped a bag of googly eyes. Oh, that's awful. Oh dear. I don't know. Sandy seems to have disappeared again. Sandy, if you're listening, I just need to know if you want your giveaway prize from Christmas to be sent to your address that you put on your last shop order. Because if so, I can just send it straight out. Sewer monsters. They're actually friendly. Yeah, okay. Ulrika says she's still finding them. That's like me with pine needles from Christmas trees. Like it's like July and you're still finding them. Anywho's, right, let's move on. Oh, okay. I'll turn this over. So I think I need to... I don't think I'm going to use all this stuff because there is rather a lot of it. Let me just give you a bit more real estate on the old desk there so you can see what's going on. I do think I need to have some sort of background, and I do want some of this textury stuff. I'm really into this for some reason. Like I don't know why that's doing it for me, but it is. Do you feel like you're being watched, Ulrika? Oh, the simple jokes, they're so good. Yeah, I think for Knobbly Bobbly, I think I either want this one or possibly this one. I think I'm gonna have to start narrowing stuff down here. So I think we'll go with that for texture choices. And I really want to put one of these in. I think the darker one possibly might be a shout. As for a background, do I really want a green background? Probably not, because I'm going to end up with a lot of green, aren't I? I might just utilise the white of the paper. I did have half a notion of maybe getting my pan. Okay guys, I'm back. I don't know where we got cut off there. Same address, thank you, no problem, Sandy. Some of you might have to refresh your feed. I'm not having much luck here. Just a bit of the old hillbilly internet at play. Spinny wheels. No one likes the spinny wheels. I call it the circle of doom myself. Cal wants a green background. Okay, no, I wanted a green background. Well, that's yes. Okay, no. I might use a pan pastels. No, I'm not going for the pan pastels because I've got plenty going on here. I'm now not convinced though that I want this. I feel like the background is more blue than green. Jan was actually doing some work. Heaven forbid. Oh, right, okay. That And I think the other main question that I have as well is, how am I going to fit the jar in? Do we cut this to fit the jar? That's not a bad idea. They'll just make it and no more. Because I could cut it up to like the shoulder there. Oh, this is exciting. So we could put something in the jars. Oh, right. Okay, see, now I'm getting somewhere. Could have that. And then we could have something in the jars. Okay. What am I putting in the... Do we put a bird in the jar? Is that cruel? That's kind of cruel. I feel like that's cruelty. I can't put a bird in the jar. Could I put the butterfly in the jar? That's kind of cruel as well, isn't it? The only thing is with these stickers is this is a white background. It's not transparent, so I would have to fussy cut around the actual one. Well, we've got the dragonfly as well. I feel like I could put them in the jar. It's a bit mean. Paper animal cruelty. Or we could have like a terrarium situation. Is that the right word? We could put that in. Right, I don't know if I want these ones now because again these are only semi-transparent. A bird in the jar. Okay, right. We're not going to put the bird in the jar, okay? I promise we'll not put the bird in the jar. I would be willing to fussy cut these though, to go in. I think that might be a worthwhile endeavour. Okay, clearly we've got work to do here. I'm going to set this to the side. I'm trying to think what else would go in there. Like, have we got any other insects? I'm quite happy to put insects in the jar. I don't think I want to put a snake in the jar either. The other selection I've got here, because I feel like this little leaf could go in the jar as well. Like that would be okay. That could live in there. I'm okay with that. I've got this little set of stickers as well. And there was a few the thing that caught my eye in here was there's lanterns and I like a good lantern as well. Like jars and lanterns for some reason when I'm scrapbooking. I just want to see, I don't think there's any insects in here. I want something else to put in the jar. There's some kind of fowl there. It looks like guinea fowl or might be a chicken. It might be a chicken. I'm not entirely sure. There's lots of nice buildings and things. A pair of dirty boots. I wonder if we've got... Because I'd taken this out with the apothecary theme in mind. There's lots of clocks as well. I do notice that. See, when you buy scrapbooking supplies, there's a very bit like heavily weighted bias towards vintage items, and there's lots of clocks. There's another one. There's a cuckoo clock in that one. Oh, there's another jar with something in it. A bottle. I could have a bottle inside the jar. I think this is just getting silly now. Yeah, there's a little. I could hang the lantern from inside the top of the lid. That would work. Kind of like that idea too. Right, okay. I'm going to keep this one. Put that to the side. Let's see, I'm trying just to cut down my options a bit here. I decided I don't want them. I've got this really nice washi tape as well that's sort of green jewels, which could maybe go down the side. So I think they'll stay. I kind of want to keep the bubbles out as well. You can see why this is a difficult process for me. And then we could have like all the green potion jars, or just jars in general actually. They could like sit round the bottom. So we could maybe make this like the centerpiece. I'm going to feed a demanding cat. A little town in a jar. That might be fun as well. I have quite a few of these in some different designs. I've got ones that are more like bottle shaped. But I say I was just particularly drawn to that one. I don't know why. Right, I think we should start with the jar. I think that's the safest place to start. Getting carried away with myself here. So I'm just going to grab a pencil. It's a pencil. Oh, that reminds me. If anyone is still looking for a cave sketchbook, you know, one of the limited edition ones, there's only 2 left. So if it's something you're planning on, I would think about it rather soon. In terms of the tote bags, I haven't counted them recently. I think there's about 10 of those left, and we've still got quite a few pencils left as well, so no urgency for It's a Pencil pencils, but if you are looking for one of the cave sketchbooks, there are only 2 left, and once they're gone, they're gone. I'm not getting any more in, so just as well I remembered that, isn't it? Right, so I want to be able to fit in to about there. I just want rough lines here. I'm not, it doesn't need to be terribly accurate. Chalk's snoring again. And I've dropped one of my bottles. Fast asleep. Oh. Is it just me, or is everyone going deaf? Oh, we're away again. Please no. Lordy, lordy. No, we're back. Yeah, mine kind of like cut out a bit there too. I don't think the hillbilly internet is particularly good today. I'm terribly sorry. Do you know, it's funny because we went along for ages and everything was absolutely fine. Like the stream quality and everything was really, really good. And it's just this last maybe, I want to say 8 weeks or so. And it seems to be causing problems again. So it's not ideal, but again, it's one of those things, like I really can't do anything about it. It's what I've got, and I can hear you. Good. You okay down there? We're okay down there. The internet is coming out in sympathy with my elbow. I don't know about that. I am gonna have to go back to the orthopedic doctor. My elbow has slid backwards in the last, I would say, probably week and a half, and I'm at the point where it's clicking when I move it certain ways, and it never clicked before. Even when it was like proper broken right at the beginning, it didn't click. So I'm starting to get a little bit concerned, and I don't have the movement in it, like the full range of movement. I still don't have the full range of movement in it. I can't straighten my arm now. The thing for me is, as well, as I've got hypermobile elbows, so when I straighten my arms, I'm actually like an obtuse angle on the inside of my elbow joint, and that's normal for me, and it's always been like that. I can't even straighten this to look like a normal arm, let alone what I would normally do like with my other arm. So that in itself's not right. But they did tell me to give it 12 weeks, which is what I'm doing, and it'll be 12 weeks at the end of January. And then I can get back in touch with them if I'm still having problems. But 12 weeks is like the full healing period, if you like. So not great, honestly. I'm not in pain all the time. The cold weather has been absolutely awful. When it's, especially, see today, it's like a really biting, like, horrible sharp cold. And when I walked the dogs this morning, like my elbow was throbbing, and I was just walking along minding my own beeswax, and I wasn't even swinging my arm that much because my hand was in my pocket because my hands were cold. So yeah, not great at all. Right, let's see what we can do here. I've got that fairly good, actually. I'll just move that, take a tiny little bit off that side. Yeah, that was a fairly good first cut. That was just like a rough cut. And again, I don't need it to be perfect because there's going to be all sorts of things underneath, but I just need to take a smidge off this side. So yeah, elbow's not doing that well, honestly. But It's not the end of the world yet. I just hope that I don't have to go for like surgery on it or something, because that would suck. That would be rubbish. What did you lift? Honestly, I have not, other than pots and pans in the kitchen, and even at that, I've been getting Mr. Jem, like, see when they're full. The prime example in our house is how very stereotypical of me. Large pots of spaghetti. For those of you that don't know, my father is Italian, so I have Italian lineage, and we cook a lot of Italian food, which obviously includes pasta. I haven't even been lifting those over to the sink to drain them. I've been getting Mr. Jem to do it. So I don't think it's anything, like, I don't think I've overextended myself is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't know. Is it the elbow one, the hand that is not good? No, it's the opposite elbow, at least it's my right elbow. It was my left thumb and my right elbow. And my left hand's my bad hand anyway. You know, like from previous escapades. So it's not too bad in that sense. And I did actually say that to Mr. Jem this morning, that I'm really thankful that it is my right elbow and not my left elbow, because if it was my left elbow, I think I would be all kinds of stuffed by now. That would not be good chat at all. It's just not cricket. Right, I think I'll go with that. I might just snip a wee bit off there. I'm doing a lot of snipping today. Right, let's see how that looks. Try and line this up a wee bit better at the bottom. Yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that. And that looks quite pretty in there as well. Woo! The Kit Kat cheesecake. Well, I'm sorry to say it, and I'm so glad that my uncle and his wife don't watch my live streams. I ended up having to throw out half that cheesecake. Mr. Jem forgot to take it with him. He was too busy trying to organise himself, and he obviously clean forgot about it. He was going shooting with his friends, and there's like 8 or 9 of them that go together all the time, and they're big boys, like they take a lot of feeding, and they would have demolished that no problem, and he forgot to take it. And obviously it's cheesecake, it only keeps for so long, so I actually ended up throwing half of it out. I did try and have another bit myself, but oh wow. So yeah, it was a bit unfortunate, but what was eaten was enjoyed, but it was just far too much. It really, really was. I kind of want to stick that in the middle as well. These stickers are kind of like speaking to me now. Like I could put, do you think that would fit in? Yes, there's a magic portal at the back of my jar. But yeah, that cheesecake was gigantic, and it was heavy as well. And that was a carry the plate with 2 hands kind of job. Right, I'm going to start with this. I'm really feeling this now. But I say I'm going to have to fussy cut because there is a white border, which is okay. I'm okay for fussy cutting in small quantities. In short blasts is fine. I'm not very good at talking and doing this at the same time, though. That's the only thing. I'm fine. See, colouring and painting and stuff, no problem. But see, when it involves scissors in my hand, I'm like, concentrating. Got to remember to breathe, let alone talk. I can hear, I don't think that the microphone will pick it up, but the wind is really picking up outside. I'm wondering whether that's affecting my internet. We tend, because it's mobile internet we run off here, the weather can affect the signal quite substantially if it gets pretty bad. Bad gales were not forecast. I mean, we're not at gale status, but I can hear the wind really, really picking up. We are supposed to be, that's something I don't think I've mentioned this actually. We are supposed to be getting fibre broadband, like proper internet. There was a man, this was ages ago as well, it must have been like September or something, and there was this man in a high-vis jacket just like wandering up and down the farm road outside the cave. And whenever that happens, your first like instinct is, oh, they're lost, or they're up to something that's might be slightly suspicious. And I was like, I'm gonna have to go out and speak to this chap and see what's what. Anyway, so I went out and he explained who he was and said, is my van okay parked where it's parked? I'm in the way. So he pointed up the road and I was like, no, it's fine there. And so I was kind of like, well, state your business. And he explained that they're putting in fibre optic cables all the way into the farm. Because we're one of the very last, we're like really far behind. And apparently that's supposed to be happening at some point this year. So we've never heard anything more about it though, like nothing at all. So if we do get fibre though, that's a game changer, obviously. It negates any, terrible internetness. I should have a much more stable connection, also a faster connection as well. Although I have to say, like, I think what we've got, for the most part, I know, like, apart from the dips, but when it is running, the speeds and everything are fine for what I need it for. I don't really see, it's not like we're super slow or that. Just, yes, like, I'm not happy with this. This is so good. So good. I wonder what we can put in the bottom. Do we put this one at the bottom? No, that's going to be too much, isn't it? Calm down. Getting all overexcited with myself here. Maybe we put the flower in. And then we can put the butterfly in this little dude over the top. I'm really focused on this jar now. Who goes there pretty much. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to hear anything more anytime soon, but he did say that it was supposed to be being done this year. I was going to put that lantern in as well. I'm like full on all over the place with this. Like there's too much stimuli here. This is the problem, and I'm perfectly aware that that's the problem. And the fact that I'm kind of multitasking, because I'm talking as well. If I put that there. Just want to see for positioning, because that's too high there. So that's going to need to come right down to like there. Oh, it's going to hang over the top of the... It's going to hang over the top of the... Oh no, it's not. Just kind of need to figure out my positioning here. About there. Okay. If I hang it from that bottom of that leaf, that should be about right. I should really have my little tweezers out for this. I've got really jaggy like tweezers with a really pointy tip on them. Here, they're here. They are like, if you poke yourself with them, it hurts. I should really be using them for things like this though. That hasn't shown up as nicely as I hoped it would, but I think it's just going to add a bit more dimension. I think I'll put that in last because I'm going to have to stick that down. Right, okay. Just thinking out loud a wee bit here. It's fine. Everything will be okay. I feel like I want something in the bottom of the jar though, but this we've got this sort of hatching, so I feel like that might just be a bit of a wasted effort, honestly. Because obviously that line there is supposed to be the back of the jar. So short of cutting up through and having something stuck on the front, that's going to be an issue there. So I think I'll just leave that alone. 2030, wow, that's a long time. Where did I get my craft scissors? These ones. Oh, these are the only ones I've been using, aren't they? I haven't used my other ones. These were, I want to say these were a Christmas gift from Mama Jem, obviously. 2 Christmases ago. Yeah, I think she got me them. I would probably say though she got them on Amazon, Sandy. But yeah, they're quite pretty, aren't they? I've got another pair that are really pretty. And I bought these ones myself. I bought them from the craft shop in town. I just think they're really nice. I like them because they were colourful, and they've got one of these little protector caps on them as well, so you don't poke yourself in the finger. These are better scissors to use. I like the length of the blade versus the handle on these ones better though. And I've got a wee tiny pair that are sewing scissors. I think they're in here. You'll have seen these ones before. Like, these are more like embroidery scissors. They're good for really small things. Teeny weeny. Again, they're a really nice colour. They're really pretty. Don't know if you can see that. It's almost like a gold colour at the bottom and then blue on the top. Thea still lives somewhere in the 90s, early 2000s. Ooh, don't need to talk to me about stuff like that. Right, okay. Let me just chop this off. I might as well. Again, I'm trying to stop. Is that supposed to be like a magic wand? I don't know what that is. It's like a key, or I don't know. Anyway, right, stop getting distracted. Come on, Jem, you can do it. You can do it. Let's pop these here, because I would like to take some of this away that I'm not using, because it is actually like doing me a disservice. I have very strong sensory issues about stuff like this. That's why, because people always ask me, see when people visit me at home and they come into the cave, everyone's always like, oh my god, I can't believe how tidy it is in here. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's not, by my standards, it's not that tidy. It's not untidy, but it could be tidier. And everyone's like, I literally, like, I can't function with mess. It's distraction. And that's something I really, really struggle with. So basically, like, it's just not an option for me like that. The only option is to be tidy. And this is kind of like, this kind of plays into the same thing. There's too many things to distract me, and I feel like almost like hemmed in, which is weird considering, you know, we're doing scraps here. But I think it's mentally ticking things off. It's like, yes, I'm using this. No, I'm not using that. So I find it really helpful. That was going to have to go in a separate scrap. Okay. I find it helpful to move things out of the way once I know I'm not using them, or when I'm finished using them. So, overwhelmed with choice. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible. Like, I don't have, like, it's not debilitating or anything, but it definitely, like, affects me in some sort of way. So, but now you see, I can put the things that I haven't used yet or looked at using up here. We've decided we're not putting the bird in the jar. Maybe the bird could sit on top of the jar though. Oh, love that idea. Yeah, okay, so keeping that one. Yeah, it's just it is a thing for me, and I'm perfectly aware. Mr. Jem brings it up all the time, because I don't know how, for the life of me, I don't know how it happened, but I married the polar opposite of me. Like, Mr. Jem is so untidy. So untidy. Weirdly, we've kind of like managed to meet in the middle somehow. Again, I don't know. I would assume that after 14 years together, if it didn't work, it wouldn't have worked by now. But he's always like rolling his eyes at me when I keep like moving stuff about, and I'm always like, oh god, just pick up after yourself. But weirdly, we seem to balance each other out. But he said to me recently it was the dishwasher, and he basically put stuff in the dishwasher, and I took it all back out and rearranged it, and he's like, no one's gonna die, like, stop making work for yourself. And he's absolutely right, and I was like, I'm really sorry. Does it take forever to upload videos? Weirdly not. My upload speeds are almost as good as my download speeds, and it's because it's business mobile internet I've got. On the domestic lines, there's no guarantees on upload speeds, whereas in business lines there are. So it'll be interesting if we do get broadband to see how that pans out as well. Yeah. Thea's autistic self loves order. My probably assuredly ADHD side is just pure chaos with chaos sprinkled on top. Well, see, this is the thing, because I'm very aware that there's definitely some neurospicy in there, and I'm patiently waiting. That's like our healthcare system, that's just the way it is. I don't think I have any of the tism. I do think that ADHD is more likely, but strangely I prefer, like, I don't seem to have the chaos, but I think I've just got chaos in a different way. So I mean, yeah, take from that what you will. I'm not going to sit here and self-diagnose, but there's definitely neuro something going on. But everything else, like all my behaviours and everything, point to ADHD. But I want a proper diagnosis. I'm going to have to do this with... See, you're not going to see his little antenna anyway. I'm just swithering how much to cut off here. Could be a bit of it. It's definitely not OCD. Definitely not. And the reason for that is OCD isn't what people think it is. And if you've got OCD, it's not it's just not the same thing. It's just not the same thing. I have a family member with OCD, and that's how I know that. Wanting things orderly and tidy is not... OCD is like repetitive behaviours. So the person... Well, I actually know quite a few people, 3 people with OCD. I have one friend who he cannot leave the house until he has locked and unlocked and then relocked his front door 3 times. Like, it's like rituals. It's not about being tidy or orderly. It isn't it. It's that repetitive behaviour. So it's definitely not OCD. Another friend, well, I say a friend, someone that I know, it's hand washing. I think they're a bit of a germaphobe as well, though, like, and I think that's a separate issue. But she washes her hands to the point where her hands are sore. Like they're raw from scrubbing. So there's a lot more to it than that. I definitely don't have OCD though. I'm 100% sure of that. Oh, I think I should be in here with a little scalpel blade rather than these scissors, but I've started now. Once I've cut this one out, I'm going to take a wee break. I would really like to go to the bathroom. That would be nice. Jock clearly doesn't want to go to the bathroom because he's still fast asleep. Do I have left-handed scissors? No. And do you know something? I've never... yes, Ulrika, I've just seen your comment as well. I think that's the safest option at this point. Do you know, I've tried left-handed scissors repeatedly over the years and I just can't get on with them. They just don't... Even as a small child, we used to get the crappy plastic ones at school as well, and I never got on with them either. So... And there was one teacher that actually forced me to use the left-handed scissors because I was left-handed, and there obviously wasn't enough in the way of scissors for everyone, so I was stuck with the crappy left-handed ones that didn't work for me. I didn't like that teacher. Cal says my doctor must have been high then. Although I'm not surprised they were hopeless. Yeah, OCD is not... It's not fun. Well, I mean, obviously anything like that's not fun. State the obvious here. Yeah, it's not good. See, I'll just wait patiently. I've made it to 40 odd. I'm not expecting for like a life-changing diagnosis or anything, but I think more for maybe not even coping mechanisms, that might be too strong a phrase, just to have a better understanding of why I do things the way I do things, because I'm perfectly aware that it's not normal. I hate using that word as well, but again, you know what I mean, like context here. But yeah, I think I'm going to be waiting a long time. The waiting list here's like nearly 2 years. So that's fun. Just as well it's nothing life-threatening, isn't it? Oh, concentrate your face. The other thing that would probably help this along quite considerably is the fact that I'm due to go to the opticians in the not too distant future, and I am acutely aware that I need reading glasses. Like, I'm at that point where I need to like sort of hold it over there and I can see what I'm doing. Oh, the joys. That's something that I'm entirely not bothered about though, because I would rather be able to see. 4 years with you, wow. They've started contracting it out to an agency. Well, see, the interesting thing as well is because I have looked into this and I might still do it yet, because I am very Edinburgh adjacent. You know, like I'm 25 minutes on the train into Edinburgh, which is obviously the capital. There are lots of private but properly accredited healthcare agencies that will do it. It's quite expensive though. You know, you're into 4 figures, you know, to get it done properly. Not, you know, not some sort of Mickey Mouse off the internet job, like actually go in and have a proper assessment. That will also be backed up by the NHS. So I've kind of contemplated that as well. I don't know. Again, stuff like that's not really been high on my priority list this last year, obviously just because of my mum and stuff. So it is a consideration though. I can't get this little bit of paper out here. Cal keeps forgetting to use hers. No, I really notice it when I'm doing like, you know, detail work like this. And I've noticed it with like smaller print. Obviously tiny print's a problem anyway. But like what used to be readable smaller print for me, I'm struggling a bit more with as well. I was mildly insulted, but only very mildly, by the optician the last time I went. He was a very nice young chap, but he was probably only about 23, maybe 25 at a push. And when we were doing like the actual sight test, you know, with the plaque on the wall and everything, I was saying to him that I wasn't having problems. This was nearly 2 years ago. And I was saying to him I wasn't having problems, but I did notice that I couldn't read the smaller text on the TV when I was playing computer games. You know, sometimes if like something pops up, it's usually the bottom right corner. For those of you that game, you'll know what I'm talking about. And when from sitting in my chair in the living room, I was like having to squint and like lean in to read it. And I said to him, I said, it's not a huge issue, but I have noticed that. And he went, oh, that's perfectly normal. He said, it's quite likely the next time you come that you'll need glasses. And he said, don't worry about it, it's so normal for people your age. I was like, you could just shut up, young man. People of my age, how very dare you. He was super nice though. So he did say to me, he says, yeah, he said, like last time I was borderline, I was right on the cusp of needing reading glasses, but apparently my distance vision, you know, like my long-sightedness is very good. And I was like, that's from reading cow ear tags. Peering over the cows. So yeah, I fully prepared for that, but as I say, it's one of those things, I'm not bothered about stuff like that. Like, if it's going to help me see what I'm doing, then 100% I'm in. Like, I am in. Because you couldn't see the game text, yeah. That's funny. Well, I'm doing reasonably well, I think. I mean, Mama Gem, she wore glasses for as long as I could remember, you know, even from when I was really small. And my brother, he's had glasses for probably about 5 or 6 years now. And he's a few years older than me, so I feel as if I'm doing okay. Because like bodies are weird. Such trouble finding long sleeve things to fit. When you squint at your HUD, it's time for Specsavers. That's funny. Oh dear. I'll say I'm not that bad yet, but I do find it with smaller text. Mr. Jem gave me something the other day. It was a medication for the cows. You know, it was livestock medication, and they give you usually it's like an information sheet that's with it, with all the active ingredients, and it's handy to have in case you end up either ingesting it accidentally or more commonly, which has happened to me, I'm looking at my hands because I've got a tiny, I don't know if you can see that white scar that runs down there. I accidentally injected myself with a vaccine that's designed for calves to prevent pneumonia. The problem is that with livestock vaccines, they're mineral based and human bodies can't break them down, and if you inject yourself with that, you're in trouble. So if you've got the information leaflet, you go directly to the hospital and you take that with you. So I had this information sheet for whatever it was, and I was looking for whatever he'd asked me to find, and I was like, this is really difficult to read. But the writing was tiny. I was like, God damn it. It's like getting my phone out and like zoom in. And I'm looking at Mr. Jem and I'm like, is that really small or is it just me? And he's like, well, it's kind of small. And I'm like, it's tiny. And he's like, yeah, you might need glasses. I'm like, yeah, I think we're definitely there. It was quite entertaining though. In a funny sort of middle-aged way. Mary's worn glasses since she was 12. Jem's laughing about injecting herself with something possibly harmful. Have I not? I'm sure I've told that story. Drove myself to the hospital. The injection was to go into the loose flap of skin round the neck, so just above the brisket. You know, you can grab the skin, especially on calves, because they haven't grown into their skin yet, and you can pull it out quite wide, and it means you can stick the needle in and just whoop, and they barely feel it because it's just under the skin. You know, it's not going into muscle or anything. And I had the calf's skin, and I went to stick the needle in, and it went like that with its head and pulled away from me. So his coat came out from in between my fingers, and I just stuck it straight into my finger. Anyway, so my boss at the time, so I was a farm labourer at this point. This was many years ago. And my boss was absolutely losing his mind because he thought I was going to like die or something. And I said to him, I was like, well, I feel okay, I think. I said, so, but I might just take myself to the hospital anyway just to get checked out, because with stuff like that, you've got to be very careful. And he was like, I'll drive you, I'll take you. And I was like, look, I feel okay, it's fine. The hospital at that point was literally a 10-minute drive, like the accident and emergency. From the farm where I worked. So I was like, look, don't worry about it. If I start to feel unwell or anything, I've got my mobile, I'll phone you straight away. So that was fine. On my way to the hospital, I started to get really uncomfortable in my seat. My finger was throbbing, but it was throbbing because I'd stuck a needle in it, not because anything was going on. And then it started to bleed really badly, and it really started to throb. And I started getting really uncomfortable in the seat, like in the driver's seat. And I tried to sort of move about, and my back muscles, like my lower back muscles, just basically went like that and just locked up, and I couldn't move. I could move my arms, but I couldn't twist. So I started to panic a little bit. So when I got to the hospital, this was back in the days when going to accident and emergency wasn't, a struggle. And I went to the counter and I just said to the nurse, I was like, look, I think I need to see someone fairly quickly because this, and just handed her the information sheet, and she was like, right. And I was triaged straight away, and I was like whipped through to this consultation room, like more or less straight away, and they were like, oh, right, okay. So they injected me with whatever it is. It's like not like an antidote, but it's a something that dissolves the mineral, and they flushed out my finger. Just because the doctor asked me, he says, has your finger been bleeding? And I said, it's been bleeding really badly. And he's like, that's good, because that's your body like trying to wash it out. And he's like, how much did you inject yourself with? And I was like, it wasn't much. And he was like, right, that's good as well. So anyway, we're chatting away, and he's like, obviously my hand's numb, and he's poking about in my finger. And he just stopped all of a sudden, and he was like, bah, and said my surname. And I was like, yeah. And he said, I've seen you before. And I just kind of looked at him and I was like, what are you talking about? He said, you had like really major hand surgery like a year and a half ago. I was like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, there's not very many hand doctors about. And he's like, it was me that did your surgeries. And I was like, oh, cool. So we were chatting away to I was chatting away to him about it. It was really funny. I was like, you're the dude that fixed my hand eventually. And he's like, yeah. He said, that was like one of the worst operations I've had to do. He said because like the first 2 didn't work. And I was like, that's really cool, because I'd never seen him, because obviously I was under anaesthetic every time I like went into surgery. So I ended up meeting the surgeon that worked on this hand, which is my bad hand. And that was what caused it to be my bad hand, was that incident. So that was the same dude that fixed me here and stitched me back up. But they kept me in for like 6 hours, and it was just for observation, like just in case it started to affect me. They took it really, really seriously, and I was like, it was only like 5 mil, it wasn't. I'm like, I'll be fine, and they're like, no, you're staying here. The other thing they made me do as well is obviously I was in my work stuff, so I was in like overalls covered in cow poop and stuff, and they made me take all my work clothes off because I was absolutely stinking the place out. I was like, I'm sorry. Oh. And on that note, at the end of that little anecdote, I'm going to stop there and just take a wee quick break. When I come back, I'm going to get this little guy cut out. Even if I can get my jar finished today, I would be quite happy. And I can finish this part off in my own time. Because I do want to talk about the colouring book just before we finish up. So I shall bid you adieu for a short period just now. And this means you get to talk about what you're having for dinner, or what you've had for dinner, or what you're making for dinner. And I'll be back in just a wee minute. So enjoy your food chat, muchachos. I love that everyone's piled on to Ulrika about what she's having for dinner, because she always makes really nice stuff. And you do, don't you, Ulrika? Tonight it's balsamic and honey chicken thighs, new potatoes, green beans and sugar snap peas. April's got sushi on the way. Oh, that sounds fun too. I never have anything exciting at all on a WIP Wednesday, just because by the time I finish the stream and tidied up, and I just can't be arsed. Thankfully for me, Mr. Jem and I got a Chinese takeaway last night, and the portions are massive, so I have leftovers from last night, so I'm having leftovers, and Mr. Jem is having a steak pie, you know, like one of like the individual ones, and he just wants potatoes and peas with that. So that there will never be anything fancy for me to contribute to that conversation when we do these streams. Different if we're doing an early bird stream, or, you know, even just at one earlier in the day, I might have a bit more to say. I do like to cook, and I do cook a lot, but just not on a WIP Wednesday. I find it really strange that I've never told you the story about my other hand. I've got a million, I had quite a few accidents, some of them self-inflicted, some not so much, but also my boss at that job, he's absolutely fantastic with the animals and everything, but he used to faint at the sight of his own blood. So you can imagine we had quite a few incidents when he injured himself, which were entertaining as well. Maybe I'll tell a farm injury story every Wednesday now until I run out of stories. But yeah, the other hand one was interesting just because obviously I got to meet the surgeon that fixed my hand. And so he was asking me, he's like, yeah, how are you getting on with it and all this kind of stuff. It was really, really strange, but it was kind of cool at the same time. He was also slightly alarmed that I wanted to watch what he was doing with this hand. He's like, the curtain's there for a reason, and I'm like, listen, I know you're like rooting about in there, I want to see what's going on. I've already got one hand that doesn't work. And he's like, a lot of people like really don't want that, and I'm like, well, I'm clearly not every other person. But he was obviously very passionate about what he does, and that's what he's saying. There's not very many hand specialists in Scotland, and he said it takes a certain type of person to be fascinated by hands. But I understand, because he was telling me about like all the mechanisms and all the bits and bobs, and he said he's just always found it really interesting. So he was definitely in the right job, and he was a very, very nice gentleman, I have to say. He was very nice indeed. But he said to me, he's like, I don't want to let you, like, I don't want to send you home, especially because I'd driven myself, because they always ask that, did you drive yourself to hospital? And I was like, yes. And he's like, well, I don't want you to drive back just in case. But he's like, I think you're okay, but I want to keep you in. So I'd already been in for, like, it was coming on 2 hours at that point. And he's like, if anything's going to happen to you, it would normally happen in the first, like, 4 to 6 hours. He says, so we'll keep you in for 6 hours. And he said they didn't put me like in a bed or anything. It was like a kind of like a recovery room type thing, so it was like comfy chairs, etc. And I just sat with a cup of tea and basically felt like a fraud and with a throbbing finger. But that was as far as it went. I was absolutely fine. I just had a couple of stitches in my finger. but it was tender for quite some time, but they bandaged it up, so like it was like 3 times the size, and I was just walking about with this big bandaged finger because I had to be very, very careful. Obviously working on the farm, I couldn't allow any dirt or anything to get into it, or I would have ended up in the situation with this hand, which we definitely didn't want. So I was probably overly cautious, but I kept it like well covered for it was well over 2 weeks until it was absolutely completely healed after the stitches were out. But yeah, that was a fun one. And I mean, it was just unlucky. It wasn't anybody's fault. These little calves, I mean, they're tiny. And obviously they don't know why you've got them pinned down and then all of a sudden you're going to stick a needle in them. So these things happen. It's just the nature of the job. It's just part of the job, and things like that just happen sometimes. It was just very unlucky. Very, very unlucky. But the poor wee thing ended up with a second needle stuck in him because obviously half of his dose ended up in my finger. So the poor little dude had to have another injection. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, we're giving cooking advice in the chat now. Loving this. Absolutely loving this. Could you guys just come and cook my tea? I would love someone to come and cook dinner for me, because I do all the cooking. Last night was a rare treat. I was just very tired yesterday. The night before, I barely got any sleep at all. I was still awake, as in like I hadn't been to sleep yet, and that was 2:15 in the morning. And like we normally go to bed about maybe 10:30. And I'm usually awake between 4 and 5. Like that's a natural waking up time for me. Sometimes maybe closer to 6. So I really didn't get much sleep at all, and I had a really busy day yesterday. I had a very productive day yesterday, but I was very busy. So by the time it came to like 6 o'clock, I just wanted to put my pajamas on. Like that's all I wanted out of life. Mr. Jem was like, "You're not standing cooking in the kitchen. You know, you're tired. Let's just order it in." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea." So I get like weirdly pleased about leftovers as well. I love leftovers. Like it's one of my favourite things. April assembles food and grazes throughout the day. Mary was talking to her hand surgeon. He was asking what I could and couldn't do, and I said not being able to plait my hair was a bummer. He said, "Oh yeah, I hate that too. Please tell me he was bald." Leftover Chinese is the best. Yeah, I've got a combination chow mein. And I've also got some crispy seaweed. So, well happy. That'll do me just fine this evening. He had a skinhead. Leftover Indian for the win. I would agree with that. I try to steer clear of Indian just now because calories. Remember you telling us about your hand some time ago, something about passing out at uni. That was this hand. that was the other hand injury. Well, that'll be. I'm trying to think now. The first hand was this one, like the major one. That was 2000 and oh god. Now you're asking, or well, you're not asking now. I'm thinking 2009 was when I had my bad injury. 2009, is that right? Yeah, 2009. And then the other hand was like a year and a half after that. Like this one, the one that I was just talking about. But I still, at that point, this hand was still really, really numb. Like there was still all sorts of funky stuff going on. It hadn't really settled down. It took about 2.5 years for it to settle down properly. And not much has changed since then. But that just shows you how long ago. That was such a long time ago. So I think I can safely say that I'm not going to regrow any of my nerves now. Depends on the curry for me. Some warm up better than others. I do like a good Indian as well. We have there is an Indian restaurant, you know, like you can sit in our local town, and that's another place like Mr. Jem and I keep saying we're going to go, because we both really like Indian food and we love curry, and we've just never been. We're going to have to make a point of doing that. Again, it's calories. I'm trying to avoid the calories desperately. Right, I'm going to get a little craft knife to do this because I'm going to end up messing about. I'm just going to go and grab my little cutting mat. Little dinky one. And grab an X-Acto knife from somewhere here. You don't know what you had for lunch. Yeah, sames. (2007) when Cal had her elbow done. Let's see, I've just got to wait on the elbow front now, and like I can't pressing, see holding that down, that I can feel that in my elbow. Like, that is not cool at all. I think I need to change my blade as well. Good grief. I've just torn this. I need to find a place to put that elbow. That's better. Why are you not cutting? Come on now. Oh, there we go. No. Oh no, that's taken the sticker part off. Oh no. I wonder if I can like unfurl it. Definitely need glasses for this bit. Like the sticker parts come off the... Do a repair job here. Yes. Inputting data for subscriptions on a website and my elbow slipped off the desk. Your ulnar nerve coming out of its groove. Ugh. That doesn't sound fun at all. Right, I'm going to have to think about positioning here because I need to stick this down before it decides to make itself unsticky. I think the butterfly should go on this side just because we've got more pattern here and it's bigger than the dragonfly. So let's pop the dragonfly there. Okay, so I can pull that off now. I was not expecting this to be such a mission, honestly. I've gotten a bit better that time. Ha 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 ha. Stitched it in place in the inner part of my arm. Ooh. Well, I hope that Are you going back to see a doctor about it? Yeah, I've got to wait 12 weeks, Thea. The orthopedic doctor told me to give it the full 12 weeks. But I know already that it's not right. So at the end of the 12 weeks, I'll be getting back in touch with the hospital. And I will be going back to see someone and see what's what. That's the thing though, see just what Cal's saying. I don't know whether it's like maybe it's like pinched a nerve or something rather than there actually being something wrong with the elbow itself. I'm not entirely sure because it doesn't, it's like, because it varies between throbbing sometimes, but other times like if I turn it or move it, it clicks. It's like a really sharp pain. So I don't know. I don't know enough about elbows. I'm much better with like infections and like bacteria. I'm well versed in that, but I'm not so well versed with weird elbow fractures. So I'll just have to wait and see, but I'm not just gonna like get on with it. I really need to go and get it seen too, and I will be doing so. There we go, got a little dragonfly in there. Jan's long-term injury as a result of being viciously hit by a library door. Ah, that's funny. Well, I think I wouldn't say it's BS with that type of fracture. See, because it's right on the end of my bone, it's not a fracture that they immobilise, so they want you to get some movement in it. But I mean, I was getting on really well with it, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. Right, let's pop that there. Oh, that was too far over. Ah, damn it. Okay. Never mind. I'll just fold that over. I'll be fine. Right, and then okay. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. I kind of want to stick these in here though. Helps if you've got it lined up. Yeah, that looks better. Do I want to put the clover inside? That's really too big to go inside, isn't it? If I hadn't put this in the middle, I could have put that under there. It's really difficult for you guys to see because of the light as well. I think I might put my wee paper flower in though. Or do I want that up there? Decisions. Paper flower could go up the top. I feel like this is really bare down here. See if I just pull that back. This spot here is really bare. I really want to put this bird in. Let me put the bird in. Do I go back to my stickers? Oh, I know what can go in there. I'm just going to leave the outline on this. A little gemstone in there. Yeah, right, that's better. Okay. So I need to stick this down, get myself some glue. Oh. I can't get the left. I'm sorry if I deafened anyone. There's banged my hand off the table. Talking of hand injuries. Good grief. What a state of affairs today, honestly. These little paper flowers stick really well as well. Just to decide which way round I want to stick it. I think this way. I just need this to be tacked to the surface because the entire back of the jar, that's the word, is sticky. So that's going to kind of like stick everything down. Yeah, that was it. I got myself there though. It had to be the two knuckles that I can feel stuff in. It could have been those two where I don't have any feeling. Yeah, sorry if I deafened anybody there. It was not my intention. That's the wrong. Right, okay. I think I'm done here today. I think that's a sign. As always, when I finish this off, I will post it up on the socials for y'all. But I think just to give you an idea of where I want to go with this now that we've kind of investigated a bit and sorted stuff out and all the rest of it, I think what I would like to do, I'll just move things about a wee bit here. Oh, right, okay. I think what I would like to do is maybe have even just like a block of colour in the background somewhere, stick this down over the top, and then maybe have like something poking out there like so, and then I'll have my jar, obviously need to work on positioning, but I'll have my jar and then I'll put the little bottles and jars round the front. I'll fussy cut that one out as well, and I'll kind of like stack them up. I'll probably look for some more that are similar to this. See, there's two, in fact there's three on this page here that I could use, and I'll kind of stack them up round about. Put my little birdie on top of my jar somewhere, and then I might take this tape and run a little bit down the side, and I've got these kind of like little embellishment things just to kind of finish it off. So I think that's the route I'm going to go down. I might have to omit the bubbles this time, but I'll work away in that probably nearer the weekend actually, and I'll get that all sorted out. So thank you for your assistance with that, everyone. When Mary was still paralysed, one of the doctors was very lucky that I still couldn't move, as he would have got kicked in the face. He took blood out of my foot after the numbing had worn off. I love these conversations, they're so good. Right, okay, so let's take a look at this poll then. Consistently, we are now Journey Through Asia is the winner. So that's 37%, closely followed by Small Victories. So it looks like we're going with Rita Berman for the next series of colouring videos. So what we need to decide right now, right this very second, is what page we want to do. Does anyone first of all have any page suggestions from the book, for those of you that know the book fairly well? Again, I can flick through while we're here, and if anything catches your eye you can let me know. As we're going, I'll shout out maybe some that I am particularly keen on. There was one, I really like this train, like the inside of the train carriage. I'm kind of into that one. And this double page, I'm kind of intrigued by this. I would maybe have a little go at that. I think we could get some nice stuff going on. What else was I really into? The one with the Shiba Inu and cherry blossoms. Oh, right, okay, hang on. I take it I haven't passed that already. Oh, this one. Do you like this one? Okay, so we've got that as a choice. And Thea likes the double page one that I mentioned. This one. I'm kind of into that too. What else have we got? Sweet treats, that's kind of like done all that before. Always up for a camelid. Always. It's the eyelashes. Okay. I think this is a project for Light Source. I think we'll leave that for another time. Let's just get back into the swing of colouring videos first. I quite like the idea of this one with the 9 different sort of self-contained images. Ulrika's like, ooh, camel. Cal likes the double page or the Kokishi dolls. And Mary's on the whatever you like best. Okay. The peacock one's quite nice as well. I quite like this one. Jan likes the volcano one as well. I think we might have a consensus here. Oh, magic carpet. Oh, lots of light sources. Look. Oh, I don't know what to do. I think they'd probably all cancel each other out, to be honest. Oh, donkey. We've got donkey. Do love a good donkey also. So many good pages in here. Definitely not this one. Okay, right, does anyone have any other strong opinions? I think I'm kind of favouring this double page. Oh, the light sources. I think we should go with this one. What do you reckon? I think it'd be a good choice. There's lots going on here. The other thing that's kind of that's kind of getting me is I can do an awesome background sky in this because we've got all this open space. So we could make this at sunrise or sunset, or, you know, we could, I don't think I would go nighttime, just on the basis that, yeah, the, hang on. The train station was at night time, so I think we would have to make this sunrise or sunset or whatever. But I just think that could be really good fun. So if you're all happy with that, I think that's what we'll do. Got some little boats to work with here as well, which is quite nice. And there's always trees as well, which makes me happy. So we've got these lovely blossoms as well, and obviously that's like pink in my head already. So a lava bubble. Oh. They could be on a sea of lava. We could make it so. That could be a thing. Isn't that the sun behind the volcano? Oh, so it is. Well, that's just spoiled my fun. It is tucked quite far in behind, isn't it? Okay, right. That's given me loads to think about. This is what we're going to go with. Thank you very much for your input. We could have a very soft yellow. That could be the sun coming up or going down. Lots of shadows. Oh, yeah, okay. Fun, fun, fun. Like it a lot. Okay. Make it a double sun galaxy. Oh. In a moonlight style. Yeah, I would kind of like that as well. But see, just because we've already got a nighttime one, I might not. I'm sure there'll be other pages where there would be opportunities to that. Because if it was in a moonlight style, I would just use like a really limited palette. I could, you know, use a sort of palette of like cool blues. That would be quite nice. I kind of like that idea too. Too many good ideas. Always the problem. It doesn't matter if you already have a nighttime one. Yeah, I know that, but I don't know. I'll have a think about it. I've got time. So the next video will be on Sunday. What day is this? Wednesday. Yes, so video on Sunday. I hope you're going to enjoy it very much. And before we start this as a series, I still want to do the other page in the Ink House. Everyone that commented under that video was in favour of me doing the cracking in the sink, which was the next page to the one we were doing before. So I'll be doing that before we start on this. So I've got loads of time to think about it. But in terms of starting a new colouring series, this will be what is coming next. It's kind of good that I've got time to think about it though. So, excellent stuff. Alright guys, well that is it for today. Thank you very much for coming and joining me. I've had quite a delightful little afternoon, and I hope that you have too. And I'm really back into the swing of things now. Do you know that I've only posted that one video on YouTube since the start of the year and stacked up the next one? Like, the next one is uploaded and scheduled, and already it's starting to make a difference to the channel analytics. So that just shows you how delicate a balance it is and how sensitive the YouTube algorithms are. So if you could take a moment to like this stream, please, I would really, really appreciate it. And hopefully the channel will get back up on its feet in terms of views fairly quickly. That would be lovely. Oh, all the pink udder hands. Yay for the pink udder hands. And hopefully you'll enjoy a much better variety of content this year than last year. You know, we're not going to be limited to just live streams, and I hope you enjoy the upcoming videos. So enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Go and have your fancy dinners or your not so fancy dinners, and I'll do the same. And I'll see you back in the cave really soon, everyone. Bye for now.